Hello, welcome to another episode of Tech Time Today. It's been a little while since I've done a recording, and I wanted to give a quick update of what's been happening and go over a big trip that I had about a month ago to ng-conf to record actually content for another video series that I am working on. There are really two big things that have been going on. For my work, it's been just really busy. It's been the most busy that I've been in years, mostly because of changes with Google search that have adversely affected our company. And we've been scrambling to make a whole bunch of changes to try to improve the product, to fix the issues that caused us to drop in search rankings, which caused us to lose customers and to lose money and that type of thing. So that's been like a really big time sink. And then on the other side, the second thing is that I've been working on this longer term project that I've had in the queue for a while. These are kind of daily short videos, Tech Time Today, but I am trying to work towards a longer form edited documentary series called Tech Time Rewind that showcases some of the greatest talks and reactions to some of the greatest talks of the past couple decades. And so just focusing on that for a little bit, I had a really big trip to Salt Lake City about a month ago to ng-conf, and I want to kind of go over what happened there and kind of give you an idea of what's been happening. So this is me flying out of Boston, my hometown. I love this view of Boston as I was going to Salt Lake City. Once I landed, I left my stuff at the hotel and then walked down the street to pick up camera equipment. So this was on my walk to get camera equipment. And you could see there's actually pretty nice weather out. I think it was in the 50s or whatever. But in Salt Lake, there was still snow in the surrounding areas. It was really beautiful. And then I got to the camera rental place. And so the whole deal was that I was going to do a series of interviews at ng-conf. So I did see some of the talks at ng-conf, and they were great. But my main objective was to record content that I can use for Tech Time Rewind. So the interesting thing here is that I am not an expert in any of this equipment at all. I've been having some help with a friend who recommended what equipment I need to use in order to do like a professional grade documentary. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to set up all the equipment, but this is how it looked like once I had things set up. The interview space for me with one other person had a couple cameras, the right lighting, etc. The lighting was actually probably took the most time, kept on shifting around to try to make sure it got the exact right thing. But I think we did finally nail it. And I got to interview a bunch of great people at ng-conf. So the first one up was actually Aaron Frost, who is the organizer of the conference. You know, ng-conf is the biggest Angular conference in the world. Aaron has been doing it right from the start. And so he's a great guy, and he was super nice enough to not just set me up with this room to do the interviews, but then also to be my first interviewee. And it went really well. I can't wait to kind of publish some of the awesome stuff that he talked about as we were kind of going over some of the greatest ng-conf talks of the past. And the first day I was there, a lot of other people were setting up for ng-conf in the vendor section. And so one of my friends, Nathan, was running a booth as part of the vendors, and he had with him a Vision Pro. So I got to try that out for the first time. That was a lot of fun. That was the first time I had ever used the Vision Pro. And over the course of the next 2 days, I basically did like 20 interviews, I think it ended up being. And so I'm going to go through quickly a bunch of the selfies I did with various people I did interviews with. So this is Mateo, my good friend Lucas, love Lucas Rebolki, Jeremy from the Angular core team. He had actually just given the keynote right before he sat down to my interview. So that was really great. One of my favorite people, Mike Ryan. You got to love that Mike Ryan smile. Marcus and Emma, the developer advocates from the Google core team. Jay Bell, host of the Angular show. He actually did a live show at the conference. So that was fun. Another fellow Bostonian, Jessica Janik. Alyssa Nichol had these amazing eyelashes that my kids went crazy over when I sent them this picture. My really good friend Nathan Walker, one of the heads of the NativeScript project. And then one of the last ones I did, one of the last interviews of the conference was with Alex Rickabaugh and Jeff Cross. These two guys were awesome. I could not speak highly enough about both of them individually, and together they're even funnier. And besides the interviews, we had a bunch of great meals that we went out to in Salt Lake City. This one was on one of the first nights that I was there. I literally could not believe it that we had something over 20 plus of us walking down the street trying to find a place to eat. And we just walked into this restaurant without any reservation, and they had seating for us. And it was actually a really great restaurant. This type of thing would never be able to happen in Boston. You would have to reserve a table, reserve a room like months in advance in order to get something like this. So I was like pretty amazed by this. But it was a great time talking to all of these people. And then near the end of the conference, I went out with Nathan and his NativeScript friends. We went to one of the hibachi grills, and the other guys, not Nathan, but his friends, had never been to hibachi before. So that was really fun. Then finally, at the very end of the conference, I had to pack everything up. And I was actually pretty proud of myself that I was able to do that without any guidance. I was in like a half an hour or so. I was able to put everything together and then get it back pretty easily. So that worked out pretty well. And that was pretty much it. So it was a quick 4 days out in Salt Lake. And it was really, really busy. I was so exhausted when I got back because I was working essentially on gathering content for Tech Time Rewind and networking and doing everything else from 6, 7 in the morning until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. So it was definitely really, really busy, and I had a great time, met a lot of people, connected with a lot of my friends that I've known for a long time in the Angular community, and looking forward to other conferences in the future, looking forward to getting all of this content together. So like right now, where it's at for the Tech Time Rewind content, I have all these hard drives that I have brought home that have all of the audio and video on it, and basically going through a process of organizing, labeling all the content, kind of slicing them up into pieces. And then next month, after I get past this really important work deadline that I have, I'm going to spend about 2 months doing the editing process to start putting together a few of these first few documentary episodes. So I have, and I still got to collect some of the content too. Like, I have like probably like 60 to 70% of the raw content I need for each of the first 3 episodes. But I still also have to fill that in with a couple of their key interviews, which I still have to figure out how I'm going to do those. It was great to be there because I was able to control the quality of the audio and video like really closely. It's harder to do that when you interview somebody online. So I'm going to think about that and figure out some way of doing that with the few people that I still have to kind of talk to. But it's all looking good. And hopefully I will have that content, not just for the documentaries that will be heavily edited, but I'm sure I will have a number of like good snippets that will get on the cutting room floor that won't make it into the actual documentary, that I might throw in one of these like smaller Tech Time Today episodes. So thank you for watching, and tomorrow or the next episode I do, it probably won't be tomorrow, later this weekend, I'll get back to my normal content of going through. I was in the middle of going through Lean Canvas and some of the specifics for that. I'm going to do that. And then I have a couple new things for SEO and for Angular server rendering that I wanted to get into next week. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next episodes.